Hello everyone, welcome to Chelsea Sport Focus. But before we dive in, make sure to subscribe so you never miss a moment of breaking news. Let's get started.
Chelsea set to unlock Roman Abramovich's final gift after Enzo Marresca Club World Cup masterplan. Chelsea news as Enzo Marresca's side are 2 games from immense riches at the Club World Cup, with more to follow in the future when most of the footballing world was focusing on the Premier League, Champions League, or trying to take a break from the relentless news cycle. Chelsea took a different approach. They had started to promote the Club World Cup long before it started. Their place in FIFA's revamped spectacle was confirmed in December 2023. At the time, Mauricio Pochettino's side was stranded in mid-table and had just come off the back of a 12th place finish and were not delivering a much better response. Despite this, by virtue of Thomas Tuchel's remarkable 2021 Champions League triumph under Roman Abramovich's ownership, just 5 months after he was appointed to replace Frank Lampard as manager, a largely unpopular decision, Chelsea qualified for the Club World Cup. Liverpool, Manchester City, and Barcelona were among the teams to miss out. Led by Gianni Infantino, the FIFA president, it was confirmed that the newly structured tournament would include 32 teams and be held like an international World Cup, with a full group stage and knockout bracket. In the 18 months to follow, many have doubted the legitimacy. What is it? Where is it? Who is it for? And, in the words of Dave Bautista's Drax from Guardians of the Galaxy, why is Club World Cup? The nonsensical element of that question is only extended to the answer. FIFA want a slice of the club game. They wish to compete with UEFA and to have the showpiece themselves. This is the world governing body changing the very fabric of a competition out of a desire for more stature. Players, managers, and welfare groups have all campaigned against it. Supporters are indifferent, at best. So why is it a thing? After all, the Club World Cup has rarely been a major draw to anyone not competing in it anyway. FIFA wanted to change that and to shift the dial towards themselves. It was already a stretch to label it the Club World Cup in the first place. Such are the riches of the Champions League, and simply getting into it, South American teams have had much more motivation and incentive to win the Club World Cup and to shake the shackles of Eurocentric discourse. It is more of an awkward obstacle than being viewed as a major trophy, for most under the UEFA umbrella. When Chelsea, at their modern nadir, were put into it, yet more questions were asked. The ranking system of using coefficient points over a 4-year cycle and then the continental competition winners brought about some unexpected entries, which have played out with some lopsided results and uncompetitive action. However, that did not stop Chelsea from promoting it as a serious event. This was a feather in their cap, belonging to this elite group of clubs. Chelsea were bigging the Club World Cup up throughout the 2024-25 season and before. Some of it bordered on propaganda. Say something loud enough and people might believe it. FIFA certainly used this tactic. Chelsea fell short of the trumpet-blowing methods used to elevate the new Club World Cup, but from an organisational perspective, they were in favour of leaning into it and getting the benefits. They even set out plans to win the whole thing and made a managerial change on the basis of incorporating it. Pochettino moved on, partially because Chelsea did not want to risk his initial 2-year contract ending just before the Club World Cup. They always stood by Enzo Marresca with the aim of seeing him through a supposed double season that was linked by the Club World Cup. They have relentlessly championed this tournament, which takes an illogical place in the heart of the European club summer. The impacts will be profound, as Marresca himself has explained. The players have complained of heat issues in America, of poor pitches, and of both mental and physical fatigue. The comical attendance throughout the first few weeks only added to the sense that FIFA had got this all wrong. Ticket pricing, which continued to be a problem and divisive topic of embarrassment for FIFA right up to the semi-final stage, has been mocked. The weather delays and potential for that to have a detrimental effect on the actual World Cup next year have been highlighted in great detail. But there have been good bits. The football has been pretty reasonable, for those who have watched. High-profile shocks have happened with tension and rivalry seen. Fans of the South American sides added plenty of colour and atmosphere. There has been a definite drive from all individuals to give it their all, regardless of the circumstances. For Chelsea, this has been apparent. Marresca has chosen to go with his strongest team, or thereabouts, for most it. He has turned down the chances to integrate young or new players into the 11 as much as he could have. The club will benefit on a financial level even if the sporting side takes a substantial hit in the early weeks of the Premier League season. Chelsea earned more than £61 million before the Fluminense semi-final and could take that up to £97 million if they go the whole way. This is enormous in boosting their financial position moving forward. Chelsea have been left to use accounting tricks including selling the women's team and hotel buildings to themselves in order to bypass Premier League regulations after transfer spending continued to rise. With UEFA's loophole closed, hence the fine earlier this week, Chelsea need to raise their revenue as much as possible and the prize money from this tournament is lucrative. It does not match the Champions League in overall funds, but for a possible 7 games, the cash driving is massive. They never put pressure on me or the players in terms of we need to win this tournament because of the money, Marresca said last month when asked about the owner's demands. They just want to try to win for everyone, for them, for the club, for the fans, for the players, for me, for everyone. It's not just about the money. The way to be certain is to lift the trophy. That is a staple way of qualification in football. The Champions League winners qualify no matter what their domestic position says. It has not yet been confirmed, just like the host, but in an expanded 32 or 48 team tournament, there is more room to admit the winners again as opposed to the yearly version of the tournament which only included the Continent Cup champions. For Chelsea, who would otherwise need to get into the top 8 of UEFA's coefficient, which is a relatively high bar, they could be just 2 games away. Winning the inaugural edition of this Club World Cup would be significant on multiple levels. Locking themselves in for a potential shot at another huge payday would simply be yet another offshoot to take advantage of. VAR controversy explained, referee Letexia reveals why Fluminense penalty versus Chelsea was overturned. In what could have been a defining moment of the Club World Cup semi-final clash between Chelsea and Fluminense, referee Francois Letexia made a decision that sent waves across the MetLife Stadium and beyond. With Chelsea leading 1-0 courtesy of a stunning goal from João Pedro, Fluminense believed they had a golden opportunity to equalize, until VAR stepped in. The incident in question occurred in the 37th minute when Fluminense pressed into the Chelsea penalty box. A cross flew in, ricocheted, and appeared to strike the outstretched arm of Trevo Chalobah. Referee Letexia wasted no time in pointing to the spot, awarding the Brazilian side a penalty to the astonishment of the Chelsea players. Stadium tension rises. As fans inside the stadium held their breath, the VAR team began their review of the incident. Letexia was mic'd up for the crowd, a rare decision in football but one that allowed the drama to unfold publicly in real time. After a tense 2-minute review, he approached the VAR monitor near the halfway line, studied the footage intently, and then made his decision. To the relief of Chelsea supporters and the dismay of Fluminense fans, Letexia overturned his initial call. Letexia's verdict. After video review, the handball committed, Chalobah saw his hand in a natural position, meaning the offence is not punishable with the awarding of a penalty kick, Letexia announced to the crowd. It was a decision that left Fluminense players frustrated, especially as they felt the handball was clear and had impacted the trajectory of the ball. But according to FIFA's latest handball regulations, a ball striking the arm in a natural position, particularly when the arm is close to the body and not making the silhouette unnaturally bigger, is not automatically a foul. A game-changing moment. Had the penalty stood, the semi-final could have taken a drastically different turn. Instead, Chelsea were spared the pressure of defending a spot kick, and João Pedro would go on to double the lead just before the hour mark. His second goal, a thunderous shot that rattled in off the crossbar, effectively sealed the game. That goal, his second in just his first Chelsea start, ensured Enzo Maresca's men booked their place in the Club World Cup final, where they will face either Real Madrid or Paris Saint-Germain. Marresca reacts to VAR drama and Pedro masterclass. Speaking after the game, Chelsea head coach Enzo Maresca was full of praise for his side's performance and composure. Asked about the overturned penalty, he did not delve into the controversy but acknowledged the value of such decisions in high-stakes matches. "We are very happy, we are very proud to play the final on Sunday," Marresca said. "The reason why is because this is the Club World Cup. The best clubs in the world are here. For us to be there on Sunday is something that we are very proud of, so we are very happy. On João Pedro, the Italian coach was effusive. We are very happy with João. We know that João is a very good player and a student that he can be. He has qualities inside, like today. Another important thing about João is that he was on holiday, so he's a bit fresher compared to the rest. It's something we were aware of. So yes, very happy for João. What comes next? Chelsea now prepare for their final in New Jersey, buoyed by the form of Pedro and the defensive resilience of players like Chalobah, whose awareness and positioning, despite the penalty scare, were key in maintaining a clean sheet. The VAR decision will continue to be debated by pundits and fans alike, especially those who believe the interpretation of the handball rule remains subjective. But in a match of such magnitude, precision and fairness from officials are crucial, and in this instance, FIFA's protocols were followed to the letter. For Chelsea, it's now about recovery and readiness. One more win separates them from becoming Club World Cup champions. And as the semi-final showed, even the smallest moment, a raised hand, a reversed call, can define a team's path to glory.